All right, St. Louis. I know I hadn't been on in a couple of days, St. Louis. I've just been doing some evaluating. It's time to go to school. It's Facebook, I don't have the rights to this music. Don't cut me off. St. Louis, we must begin to understand why are we seeing the world as we are seeing the world. In other words, everything appears to be right in front of you, but yet you fail to realize you're dealing with time, present, or shall I say past, present, and future. And depending on the strength of your mind is going to determine what you see. In other words, you're going to see pretty much what, more than likely what everyone else sees, just not going to see it at the speed in which you need to see it in order to properly make sense of what may be distorted. In other words, you have to strengthen your mind. There's nothing more important, I don't care what it is, nothing's more important than strengthening your mind. Because once you strengthen your mind, you're able to change the magnetic field in which you dwell. In other words, you're living in a system. You can call it a video game, a game, simulation, whatever you want to call it, ones and zeros, binary. You living in a system. But the system is being created by your mind. So depending upon the strength of your mind is going to determine your evaluation, your assessment, what you observe. You are the observer of your universe. You must get this, St. Louis, Chi-Town, Alabama, Georgia, New York, the Bahamas, Florida. You must come to the realization that it's imperative that you wake up in this season, because if you don't, you're going to continue to follow the same trajectory, and that trajectory is darkness. You're going to continue to lose your sound. And the older you get based upon sound is going to determine how long you dwell on the face of this earth. You're going to have an understanding that you are supposed to die. The reason you have that understanding is because you have not the power to know that you're supposed to live. You can only think at the development of your mind. And if your mind is incapable of processing the data, information, ones and zeros, in the manner in which it needs to process, you're not going to be able to make sense of your reality. However, you're going to make sense, but the sense in which you're making is going to be distorted. I'm trying to get you to understand. We have not come to the realization of what is actually going on. And until we reach that level of understanding, nothing will change. You will continue to have fun, go places as you know them, but you fail to realize the fun in which you're having is not necessarily fun. It's a false perception of fun. And the reason it's a false perception because your mind never reached enough power to know that there was more to know. We must begin to understand that all is not as it appears. I want you to think for a second. I want you to imagine yourself being able to travel at 186,000 miles per second. Imagine yourself being on a jet that can travel that fast. And if you're traveling 186,000 miles per second, you are. Those that have not the ability to travel at that level will not even move 1 second before you have literally been around the world thousands upon thousands upon thousands of times, because you're moving fast in mind, and yet they're moving slow. So as a result, their life expectancy is only 80 years or 90 years, or not necessarily 80 to 90. They're just basically subjected to whatever may happen, probability during that period of time. In other words, they can get involved in an accident. Something could happen. They get sick because there's no truth to the direction in which they're living. But in your case, if you're traveling at 186,000 miles per second, you're traveling at the speed of light. So as a result, darkness can't distort that level of power. So as a result, you're not going to decay. Your time will stop, but yet their time is still ticking and they have not went anywhere. 80, 90 years, but yet 13.8 billion years is the beginning of creation, which literally dictates the amount of power. I'm trying to get you to understand that it appears to me that we might be living in a simulation, but the mind itself is encoding its existence within the simulation. Once you reach the speed of light, you will literally break free of what had you bound since you've known yourself. But yet you never knew there was something greater than what you now know, which will be truth. And that truth is capable of setting you free. It's time, St. Louis. It's time. I'm smarter than you think. More importantly, I'm fearless. Stay tuned. You ain't seen nothing yet. God bless.